We talk a lot about trust issues, but we don't ever talk about why. Why is it that trust is super important? Now, there's a lot of fundamental reasons why trust is important, and I'm gonna break this down for you in this video. So you guys make sure you guys sit back, relax, and we're gonna talk about it right now. All right. So, why is trust important in a relationship? First and foremost, trust is one of those things where it can be easily broken but hard to gain, right? It's very fragile, and it's crazy because when we talk about a foundation of a relationship or a foundation of um, any type of partnership or whatever it may be, typically a foundation is supposed to be strong, right? Like everything's supposed to be solid and strong. Like you don't want to build your relationship or anything at that matter on a weak foundation. Um, even in the Bible it says where God he built his church upon a rock, not upon sand, because there's sand that's seeking sand. So when we talk about trust, it's very interesting that we utilize that as a strong foundation. It's like, okay, our trust is strong, it's very strong, but it can be easily broken. If you think about a foundation is not easily broken. A foundation can withhold a lot of weight. It can withhold a lot of, you know, environmental changes or whatever it may be, situations. But it's crazy that trust is so fragile, but it's so important in a relationship. But a couple of things that trust actually does, it actually one creates emotional stability, emotional safety. It creates an environment in which we're able to feel safe with our partner. We don't want to be less assured. We don't want to feel less than. We don't want to feel as if when we talk to our partners or we don't want to know their whereabouts. We want to feel safe and secure. And safe and secure doesn't mean like, hey, I'm locking up all the doors or, from a physical sense. It's more so again from an emotional standpoint. Being safe from an emotional standpoint. And when you're safe in an emotional standpoint, then you can let, kind of not be so anxious about things, not be so worried about situations, not be so worried about, okay, well, what's that person doing? Are they cheating on me? Or are they going out with their friends? It's a whole mess of things when you don't trust. And when you don't trust, that emotional safety is gone, thus leading into you having more anxiety around your relationship. Because again, if you don't trust, then you're going to have a lot of emotional irregulations. Now, having trust with the emotional safety can help reduce stress in the relationship, right? I'm pretty sure you guys been in relationships where you feel like you trust somebody and you guys feel like then you've been in relationships where you maybe feel like you couldn't trust that person, right? So when we talk about reducing stress is typically associated with the anxiety. So when your partner's has your back, and you guys aren't spending energy on fighting, you guys aren't spending energy on going back and forth, you're not spending energy on just nonsense. You're really spending the energy on building a relationship instead of trying to pick up pieces. You feel what I'm saying? You're working on trying to build that solid foundation instead of like, okay, well, let's pick up the pieces from like, when we had this argument or, when you did this or when you hurt me or whatever it may be. So understanding that this allows your mind to be at peace, especially when you're trying to focus and build on a relationship. Now, trust also leads into having better communication. So when you have better communication, you know, that's where the trust lies, because trust and communication go hand in hand. Now, the reason why trust and communication go hand in hand is because how can you communicate and be really vulnerable or open to somebody if you don't really trust them, right? Um, Never are you going to ever fully submit your full emotions to somebody if you don't trust them, right? And trust doesn't mean you know somebody for a long time, but trust doesn't come automatically with a title like, hey, I trust my family, I trust my girlfriend, I trust my boyfriend, I trust this person because they have a title. Trust really, really comes from a feeling, right? I'll use this as an example, right? So me being a therapist, I usually will work with folks and, off the rip, they can tell if they can trust me or not, and they can share certain things or not based on our interaction. It's like, hey, like maybe it's okay, you're a black male therapist. I understand, like, there's a level of rapport already there. So I trust you when I say certain things because I trust that you're going to understand, and I trust that you're going to give me the feedback that I need in order for me to get over this experience or obstacle or whatever, anxiety or depression or whatever it may be. Trust doesn't necessarily, again, mean like you know somebody for a long time, but it's just a feeling that you have. Now, when you do have trust, there is better communication because you are able to communicate your feelings, your thoughts, and be open. It's no good in a relationship if you're ever guarded in a relationship. It's no good that, if you're in a situation where you're not able to fully, talk about everything. What good is a relationship if you can't be vulnerable with that person? What really is good with that relationship if you can't really be fully submissive to them emotionally, right? And also, trust also builds strength. It builds strength between two folks. It gives that, again, it's so fragile, but it's so strong as well too. Like if you trust somebody, you ain't got to worry about it. And ensuring that if you're in a position where somebody does trust you, that you assure that you're not going to try to break that trust either, right? You're not going to go out and try to do something to break that person's trust, especially if the trust is so strong. It's very, very strong, right? Another one that it may surprise you a bit is that trust actually fosters independence. Now, what I mean it fosters independence is when you trust your partner, you don't feel like you consistently need to check in on them, right? Like, if your partner trusts you, you don't gotta like check their location. You ain't gotta ask to share locations. You ain't gotta go through their phone. You ain't gotta do all these extra things to act like you're trying to trust them. Like you don't have to go through the extras, quote unquote, right? So just being sure and ensuring that when you do have these trust issues, a lot of times it's like, okay, why should I get over my trust issues, right? It's like, why? What's the point of getting over my trust issues? Well, there's so many benefits into getting over your trust issues, the ones I mentioned earlier, so that when you are able to be fully submissive as far as like the trust, a lot of stuff can be let go. A lot of stuff can be let go. So just be sure, in any situation or, any relationship that you're in, even whatever it may be, partnerships, relationships, business, family, whatever it may be. If you have trust issues, know that there are benefits on working towards them. So when you have issues or you're having struggles with, okay, what do I do next? Or like, okay, what's the benefit of it? Or why should I trust this person? Or why should I even work on it? Now, again, everybody shouldn't be trusted, right? Everybody shouldn't be trusted with everything. There might be people in your life that they are specifically designed, in your world to trust you with a certain thing, right? I'll use like a financial advisor, for example. Like my financial advisor, I'll trust him with my finances, but I may not trust him like to be to work on my car. It's kind of the same thing as, sometimes we have this intention of, okay, we need to trust everybody for everything. You don't necessarily need to trust everybody for everything. You have to compartmentalize when you're talking about trusting people. What are you trusting people specifically for, right? In relationships, you want to be able to have those moments where somebody can be fully trusted with everything, right? But also, too, in relationships, your partner may not be able to help you in doing the thing that you might need to be done. Now, what does that mean? Your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend may not be able to be your therapist, right? So you may not be able to trust them to give you the feedback because that's not their role, right? They may have so many other different roles. They may play a whole significant part of your life, but understanding that if you're trying to trust them for something that they can't do, that's going to feed into your trust issues. And when you're constantly like hitting a wall, okay, I don't trust them to do this. This is like, think about this. If you're trying to trust somebody, do they have the capability to really help you in that capacity that you're asking to help you in? Or do you have the discernment to figure out, okay, maybe my girlfriend or boyfriend can't help me with this, but maybe I need to go somebody else to help me with this. And that's perfectly okay. Like we all have the same, like, oh, I want my partner to be everything for me and I want them to, come to me for everything. Like that's cool and that's okay. But understanding on the other side of that, that's not always realistic. That's not always a real thing. That's not reality all the time, and it's okay. It's okay. That's why God gives us so many different people in our lives. That's why God gives us so many different avenues with our support system. That's why God presents people in our lives for seasons sometimes, just to help you with certain situations. But I hope this video was helpful. Make sure you guys tap in with me, Terrence, Stewart, licensed clinical social worker. I got all my links and all my great stuff in the bio. If you guys are looking for a therapist, make sure I'll tap in. All right. I appreciate y'all. You guys take care and take care of each other. Peace.